and welcome to Know It All. I am your host, Barbara Clifford, and thank you for joining us today. Our guest today is serious about her sweepstakes. So serious, in fact, that she has a nickname, the Contest Queen, a book, You Can't Win If You Don't Enter, and a website, all devoted to winning things for free. And she is here today to share her story, her experiences, her knowledge, and her tips on how we too can start winning what we wish for. Joining us now is sweepstakes management consultant, social media specialist, change agent, project manager, author, brand ambassador, the contest queen herself, Carolyn Willman. Carolyn, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I love that introduction.
Do you want to do it again?
No, that's okay.
That's a lot of titles or a lot of things that you do, but we're going to start with the contest queen. What if is it? You self-coined it?
I did because I had this idea on how to help people win. And in the States, there's a fella who is the sweepstakes king. And I thought, well, if he's the sweepstakes king, then I'm the contest queen.
Oh my goodness, I love it. And it's known. People know it immediately. It's very catchy. It's very engaging. Immediately, what does this mean? What is that all about?
Well, I am a marketing expert, so I did know I needed to have something catchy.
Yes.
And so that's one of the other reasons I chose to do it that way. And I've actually talked to the Sweepstakes King. I have an online radio show, and I've interviewed him. He's a lot of fun. I'm waiting to win a trip to LA, and then I'm going to go meet him.
Oh, I think that is fun. And I mean, it's going to happen anyway. And you're going to tell us how we can all win and go with you, right?
Well, it's usually a trip for two. I'll tell you how to win your own trips.
Okay, that sounds fair to me. Thank goodness the title wasn't gone. Like, I'm thinking in terms of a company, right? And so the contest queen, that wasn't taken already.
Right, and it's interesting because as social, we can talk about this later when I get to how companies can do this for themselves. When Pinterest started to get popular, I thought, uh-oh, and I ran onto Pinterest and signed up for an account and grabbed the contest queen account because I knew that if I didn't take it, it would be gone.
Yes. Good for you. Okay. Take us back then to, because being a marketing specialist, that certainly was something that you did in a past life, if you will, or it continues because it's clearly something that's important
Well, it
now.
continues.
Okay.
So
how did it begin?
Well, actually began in college. I majored in business administration and marketing way further back than I want to admit.
Just a few years ago.
Just a few years ago. And I followed the path of a marketer. I did every area. I did inside sales, outside sales, telemarketing, event planning. You know, I did it all, communications, PR. And sweepstakes and contests is actually one niche within the marketing realm. It's one tool a marketer can use.
Yes.
So when I found myself unemployed at one point, I was lying in bed reading Reader's Digest about it was an article about a woman and her husband who were both teachers, and what they did was they entered sweepstakes as a hobby on a daily basis, and they won all kinds of things. They won things that enhanced their lifestyle, so you know, dinners out, gift certificates, coupons, gift baskets, prize packs, things like that.
Yes.
And then my favorite is what they call experiential prizing. So things money couldn't buy. Or that were very far out of your budget. So they described, you know, a $10,000 romantic trip to Tuscany, which, you know, as teachers, that would never be in their budget for a holiday.
Or many people, and yet we dream about it, but think we could never have that.
Well, who says you can't have it?
I know,
I'm
loving this.
You just have to find a different way to get it.
Yes.
So I thought, what a good idea. I'll just win everything. I don't have to work. I'll just win stuff. Well, it doesn't work.
Did you get a T-shirt made up? I'll just win everything.
Yeah, I'll just win everything. Yeah, because I haven't found a way to earn my living winning. Believe me, if I ever figure it out, everyone will be the first to know.
Okay.
But it's great because I've gone places and done things and met people that I never could have imagined had I not been entering contests. Plus just even fun things, going to the movies with my girlfriend or winning a gift certificate to a local restaurant and going out to dinner with the family. anything is fun, and I love sharing the prizes too.
Yes, and I think you make a great point, because as much as you talk about a trip for two, say, to Tuscany, just to win something, Carolyn, is a thrill. It just, what is it that it does? We are so excited about it, whatever it may be, and it may be like, you know, pop or something. It doesn't have to be a grand prize.
Yeah, it's when you can really tell. We call them sweepstakers or contesters, because we get excited over everything. So you'll hear a woot and you think, oh my God, they won a grand prize. No, we just won a t-shirt. We get just as excited over the little things as we do the big ones.
And why do you think that is?
I don't know. Maybe it's I think there's a slight addictive factor to the hobby.
Oh, now you're fessing up to this.
Now I'm fessing up to this. It was bad at one point. I was getting upset when I wasn't entering every day. And now I let it go a bit, and I win what I win. I enter when I enter, because I am busy with work.
Yes.
So I enter when I enter. I win what I win, and I still do fairly well.
Okay, to that point then, is it a hobby? Can it be a full-time job? Because you're saying, okay, I'm busy with work as well, and clearly by the intro, we know that you're doing a lot of things, a lot.
Right.
Is it a hobby for you, and can but
yeah,
it's time-consuming as well?
Well, it's not that time-consuming. It's an hour to 2 hours a day.
Yes.
But I'm so busy right now, I don't even have the hour to 2 hours. I might have 15 minutes or half an hour. So I try and enter the top prizes. And one of the keys, and I'll talk about it later, is being organized.
Yes.
So you can maximize the amount of entries in the shortest period of time. So even though I have 15 minutes, I'm going to maximize those 15 minutes.
Yes. It's about being committed to it. Is there about having some sort of a strategy then? Like
partly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's all tied in.
What's the secret? We want to know the secret.
Well, first thing is I tell people you always have to read the rules. Because if you don't read the rules, you could disqualify yourself. And with limited amount of time, entering single entry only sweepstakes is the best way to go, because everyone has even odds. You throw your name in once,
yes,
and then you forget about it. That's it.
Okay, interesting.
So with limited time, so there is a strategy when you have limited time. And then, you said, well, at one point you had said to me before we started the show, could we start winning today?
Yes.
Yet you can, because there's a lot of promotions that have instant win components. So the rule is it could take 3 to 6 months before your first big prize arrives, but it starts now, it doesn't finish for a month. By the time they do the drawing and notify somebody, I mean, time has gone on.
Yes.
That said, you could go on to one that has an instant win component. You put your name in. Bob's your uncle in 10 minutes.
What about that? And I'm loving this too. And I'm thinking in terms of beginner's luck, because sometimes then you go and you feel as though, you know what, I'm just going to do this for fun, and the next thing you know, you've won. So is there beginner's luck? Do you believe in that?
That's how people come to the hobby for 2 ways. One is they see something, they enter it, they win it, they think, oh my gosh, that was awesome. What else can I win? And then they start entering on a regular basis.
Yes.
And the other one is people, your friends and relatives around you.
Yes.
Everybody poo-pooed me when I started. And then when the trips started showing up and the bigger prizes started showing up, suddenly everyone is, well, have you entered this? And can, refer me to that one? And can you check this one? And, they love it when suddenly it's not so silly.
Suddenly you've gone from being sort of, kind of brush that off, to now it's very much affirmed, it's validated, this is serious business. I want to talk a little bit about a particular individual, if you can share with us, and it is taking us back a little ways. When you first began, was there somebody then that you reached out to that taught you?
Yeah, how it started was I had read about her online. Mm-hmm. And her name is Helene Hatzel, and she wrote the book, The Name It and Claim It Game. And she won every contest she ever entered. Now, that might sound a bit crazy, but she didn't, the hobby, when she was doing it, because she's since passed.
Yes.
She was in her late 80s when she passed, so she was doing it in the 50s and the 60s when it was a completely different hobby. I mean, nothing was online, it was different. So the amount she would enter and how she would win was completely different than what we do today. So she doesn't do the volume, but she used the law of attraction and visualization and something she called SPEC, which was select it, project it, expect it, collect it. I'm
liking it. S-P-E-C.
Yeah, SPEC. SPEC is what she called it. Mm-hmm. And she would focus on what she would want, and she would win it. And I tried it once. I had gone to visit her in 2008. Oh, She's the most amazing woman I've ever met. And
Yes.
she was so peaceful and positive and affirming. I loved her.
Yes.
And so what she would do is she would take little pieces of paper, like I took 3x5s, long ways, and wrote out just one word of prizes I wanted to win. Mm-hmm. And I did it for 3 weeks with an affirmation. And nothing happened, so I thought, oh, forget it. And then a couple months went by, and one of the things on that list was a trip to London. And I won a trip to London. And I wanted a week-long trip.
Yes.
And I won a trip for 4 days. And I thought, oh, so it doesn't really work. And then they called me back and they said, oh, we figured out you can't go for 4 days. There's no flights for 4 days. So we're sending you for a week and we're paying for the extra hotel. And I thought, oh my God, the first one came after 3 weeks. Why did I stop?
How fabulous.
So I thought, oh, if I had kept going, I might have got everything on the list.
But there's lots of time. I don't know if there's still things on that list.
Oh, there's always things on that list.
Okay.
It changes. It just changes. So
Yes.
one thing goes off, another thing goes on.
Okay. So when you say about the visualization then, is it something then that you do to this day then and we can all be doing? If we see it, we can achieve it.
Right, and I have an affirmation. Now, what I learned is I love motivational, inspirational books. I've been reading them since I was 18. Mm-hmm. And so what I figured out is, for me, I could not use somebody else's affirmation. A lot of them have great ones that they share with people as tips and simple ones they can use. None of them felt right. So I took a piece from this teacher and a piece from that teacher and one from this author mm-hmm. and one from that author, and I mashed them all together and made my own.
And that makes sense. And
right.
then that is what is all about Carolyn Willman. That's hers, and you own it, and that's what works for you.
Right. So I teach people what I say, and then I say, okay, now go make one that feels right for you.
Yes.
So what I say is, I now choose to request and receive.
Yes.
100+ prizes. So I put the plus in there because then it just leaves it open, right?
I'm going to ask you to hold that thought for a moment, and we'll take a station break, and when we come back, we will hear what Carolyn's affirmation is, but maybe you should come up with your own as well. Stay with us. Lots more to come. Got to that one because we'll get. Welcome back to Know It All. We're talking with the contest queen herself, Carolyn Willman, and it's all about getting lucky. Okay, before we went to station break, you were going to tell us what your affirmation is, and you highly suggest everybody creates their own.
Right.
Okay.
And one of the things is, one of the tips from one of the teachers, Jack Canfield, is he says, be specific. So, but I also don't want to limit it, because if the universe has a better something better in mind for me, I'm totally willing
You're
to
totally
take
open
it.
to
I'm
it.
totally open to it.
I think the universe knows you very well now. I think, you know what? She's going to be totally A-okay with this. Okay, what's your affirmation?
I now choose to request and receive 100+ prizes valued at $50,000 plus in 2013. This or something greater. Thank you. I always, you have to be grateful. That's
Yes.
part of it.
Okay. Okay, so it's about being specific.
It's being present. So I now choose is present. It's this moment.
Yes.
To request and receive. So you're asking and you're being open to getting it.
Yes.
100+. I always add the plus
Yes.
or greater. Those two words means that, okay, I'd like 100, but if you want to give me 200 or 800, I'll take whatever you got.
Yes.
And then I put a time limit on it. So I say in 2013. So it has to be this year.
Yes.
And then I say this or something greater, just to be open again, just to make myself open again. And then gratitude, the attitude of gratitude.
Oh,
That's a
absolutely.
big one. So thank you, or sometimes I say amen, or
Okay.
whatever the mood strikes me at the moment.
Could be namaste, I think.
Could be, yeah, whatever my mood strikes at the moment.
And you know what? And that is the same sort of thing in terms of goals. So whether we're looking at short-term goals and creating our long-term goals, and it's about being very specific about what we're targeting. Because if we're really not focused, we're not going to be able to make this happen, right? Because it isn't,
right.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you're not suggesting that, okay, I'll just say that and then it will just all kind of happen.
No, you have to take action too.
Yes.
Action's required.
Yes.
So I can't just sit on my couch and, I'm like a Ferrari. You know, that's not going to work. I have to do something. So, so I do take action to this. And I've used the affirmation, but it, for business, I change the words, of course, but I keep it the same. I now choose to request and receive, and then put in my bit about my business, you know, whatever the words are, and then whatever the time limit is, you know, by October, or, and then I say this or something greater. So I keep the you know, the bookends kind of the same, and then I change the middle to whatever I am focusing on right now in my life. But then you have to take action to it. So you have to enter. So one of the things that's really neat is this: you're not by yourself when you enter.
Oh.
There's a whole community out there, and this was amazing to me. When I first started, I was online all by myself, and I started finding online groups on Yahoo. Now, social media has come along since I started. I started back in 2001, so just, there were online groups, and I started chatting with other people that entered, and you get conversations going, and they teach you about things. So one of the things I learned from some of the people on these groups is there was a book. First it was a book, and then it was made into a movie called The Prize Winner of Defiance, Ohio. And it was set back in the 50s and 60s when it was actually contesting, so before sweepstakes started. And the subtitle of the book is How to Feed 10 Kids on 25 Words or Less. So it used to be those jingles, those jingle contests. And it was about...
Was Julianne Moore in this?
Yes, Julianne Moore.
This is coming to me now, yes.
It's a lovely movie. The book and the movie are a little different. They always have to change the movie to fit because, you know, you've got 2 hours. And it's about Evelyn Ryan and her friend. She found there was clubs in those days, and the one club she became a member of was called the Affadaisies, because they were in the States, and when you win a prize you sign an affidavit. So they called themselves the Affadaisies.
How clever is that?
And when I saw the movie, they were showing that some of the main characters were still alive and living in Payne, Ohio and Defiance, Ohio.
Yes.
And so I wrote to why is her name just escaping me? Dorothy Schaefer.
Yes.
And I wrote to her, and she wrote me back. And so then I went down, and I met these women. There was, at that time, there was 5 of them still alive. And yeah, there's only 1 left now.
Yes.
That was the toughest blog I had to write, I think. When I found out Dorothy passed in January, I couldn't see my screen. I was crying so much when I had to tell everybody.
Because you become so close, right? It's something that you share a passion for, that these people are really, really personal friends.
They're amazing women, these women that were, you know, from the eras before me, because although I call myself the contest queen and I use it's a great marketing moniker, and I know I do teach and help people, but these women were the grand dames.
Wow.
You know, and they were...
How generous and how gracious of you to say that, yes.
They were just phenomenal. They changed more people's lives than they will ever know. They've said, you know, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have a stage to step on.
Absolutely.
They were just phenomenal, and I'm just hoping to pass on some of what they taught me on to other people, because they were very generous. And so when they were entering, it was called contests, and then it went to sweepstakes. And they didn't do so well because they were really good at the contests. So I tell people, watch the movie, read the book.
Yes.
With a box of Kleenex.
Okay. Tell us again, the prize winner of Defiance,
Ohio.
And Defiance is the city.
Defiance is a city. I've been there. Done that. I don't have a T-shirt.
Because that actually came out, I'm thinking, Carolyn, that's only maybe about 3 to 5 years ago.
I thought the movie was 05, 06.
Is it? Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
I have it on DVD, of course.
Okay.
I didn't win it. I went and bought it. I don't win everything.
Okay. We're going to watch it. We're going to we'll watch the movie. That will be great. Okay.
Right. And there's hundreds of clubs in the U.S. So after I figured out with the movie, there's lots of clubs in the U.S., but there's none in Canada. So I started some in Canada.
And do we have names of them that you can share with us?
Yeah, well, I started a club here. Unfortunately, I would normally guide people to my website for all my resources. Unfortunately, about 3 weeks ago, I was hacked very badly.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, I was hacked very badly. And so my site's down. I thought, well, you know what? This is a hint. It's been needing a redo and an overhaul anyway.
Yes, the positive attitude.
Right, so I'm taking the opportunity. So unfortunately, it's going to be down a little longer than I want.
Yes.
But on my homepage, I still have all my social media contacts. So anybody can reach me on Facebook, Twitter, email, YouTube, Pinterest, you name it, I'm there.
Okay, because there are people saying, I need to talk to the contest queen probably as soon as we stop airing here. Okay, perfect.
And we have a club here in Durham region called the Winner's Circle, and we're meeting October 27th at the local Starbucks in Whitby. So I won't tell you which one, so you have to contact me, because we need to kind of keep a head count, because we take over the boardroom table in the local Starbucks.
Yes.
And we teach each other how to win. So we all bring our laptops, and we support the coffee shop, because if we're going to take over the board, so we get refreshments, and we all sit down with our laptops, and what do we want to learn this meeting? So the first topic we've got on board is
this Sunday coming.
This Sunday
October 27th. Okay.
We're going to focus on Instagram.
Yes.
And then one of the girls made it in a group, didn't share a contest right, so I'm going to do a review of Facebook contest.
Wow. Sounds like somebody got their wrist slapped.
No, actually it concerns me, because if she's not doing it right when I shared, then she might be missing opportunities to win in other places. And that, we can't have her losing opportunities to win.
Yes.
So we got to support her.
Okay,
it's the other way.
Okay,
I got
Okay, I got it. Okay. So connecting to win, this is what this is all about. I mean, certainly it's bringing people together, but it really is about online then, is a whole other way of being successful at this.
Right, and what's really neat, and what I didn't realize when I started, because I was just sitting at home by myself on my computer.
Yes.
When I started meeting people, I call it the good crazies, because you have to be a little bit crazy to enter every day.
And it is every day, to that point?
I try and enter every day. Even if it's 10 minutes, I try to get a few in.
Yes.
Like you might notice I think yesterday, it was Sunday, I didn't do anything except I did one. I was lying in bed with my smartphone, and I'm like, okay, one. This is the one I'm going to do today.
Fair enough. Okay, so you were saying?
So there's something about being around fellow sweepers. I don't even know there's no real words to describe it.
Is it an energy?
There's an energy. I remember I went to I found out there was conventions in the States. I just went a week ago in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Mm-hmm. And there's something about being in a room with several hundred people that are just like you.
Yes.
And I remember the first convention I went to in 2005. And I walked in, and I felt like I knew everybody already.
Yes.
And I said to my ex, oh my gosh, I'm coming every year. And he said, oh no.
Yeah.
And I've gone. I only missed 1 year for National, and I attend all of them. Like next year there's 5, and I'm only missing 1 because it's the same weekend as my daughter's birthday.
Yes.
But I'm going to be going April and June and July and August. I'm attending a convention.
I think it's fabulous, and I think, when you say about recognizing each other, and I think when you truly have a passion for something, you meet people who share that passion, you immediately connect on a whole other level. You just know each other.
Well, what's really amazing is, and this is what I think is actually a bigger prize than the prizes.
Yes.
Is that I've made friends for life out of this hobby.
Yeah.
And I've been to 3 weddings. I'm waiting for my 4th invitation. One of my sweeping buddies got engaged at New Year's, so I'm waiting for the wedding invitation for that one.
You don't have to enter a contest or anything,
no.
do you? Okay.
But a lot of people, it's funny, people try to win good prizes to take as gifts for the wedding. I remember when my girlfriend was getting married, I tried to win her a honeymoon. I said, okay, if I win you a honeymoon, I'm not buying you anything for your wedding. And I didn't, but I referred her to one trip that I had entered. She entered it, and she won her own honeymoon.
Does it feel like I can't buy anything any more than I have to win it? Do you ever get to that?
I find I get a little bit miserly. Because, at one point our TV died, and my ex had wanted it, and I said, no, the minute you buy one, I'm going to win it. And 14 months later, he finally said, okay, you know what, you're not winning a TV. We haven't won a TV yet. I'm going to buy a TV. I still haven't won a TV.
Have there been no contest for TVs?
No, I just haven't won them. I try. Try. And again,
maybe it wasn't on your list or in your affirmation.
It was. I think,
being specific.
It was one of the ones on my list, but I guess I gotta focus a little more on that one.
Well, when you call him an ex, clearly then you don't need the TV for him any longer. So
no, but I need one for myself.
Do you?
Yeah, it's almost like a goal, because you know, I've never won a big screen TV, so it's kind of like, okay, what do I want to win that I've never won?
Okay.
You know, major appliances, big screen TV, a car. A car is the big one.
Is it?
That's the holy grail of every contest, is to win a car.
And does that give you bragging rights in some way then, that you can say, oh, I want a car with your fellow sweepers?
A little bit, because
Yeah.
they do a big prize count at the conventions to show people that it is possible to win big. And there's people that have won more than one car.
Yes.
And it's pretty amazing when they say, okay, who's won 2 cars? And then some people sit down, and who's won 3 cars? And and some people have won, you know, a lot of
Amazing things. And I think, you know what, to go back to your point, it isn't really about winning the big ones, but probably as you continue to do this, it just escalates. That's what you want.
Well, and it's nice. It also helps your pocketbook. I mean, if I win a car.
Totally. We're going to take a station break, though. And then we're going to continue the conversation with Carolyn Willman, and she's going to talk about a book that she has written, Winning Ways. Stay with us. Lots more to come, because we're going to win something. Welcome back to Know It All. We're talking with the contest queen herself, Carolyn Willman. It's all about getting lucky. Okay, everybody is out there right now and they're thinking, well, I want to win this, I want to win that. Are there certain ways to win, or certain things that we need to have that are hard, fast rules that we need to have in our back pocket?
Okay, well, the first one is to always read the rules.
Yes.
And there are 5 places you can enter to win. So
Perfect.
In person, call in, mail in, online, and text messaging.
Okay.
So those are the places. So I have them all outlined in my book. You can't win if you don't enter.
Perfect.
Shameless plug.
You can leave that, and it's not a shameless plug. Are you kidding? Stand it up there, okay?
Okay.
And doesn't it make sense? You can't win if you don't enter.
It's true. Now, in person, if we want to do a little bit in person, now, of course, as a business person, I have a business card. But you may be in a position where you're student, retired, stay-at-home mom, something that doesn't have a business card.
Yes.
You can go to your office supply store, buy business cards, just print some up. You know, mom extraordinaire,
Yes.
winner at large, name, address, phone number, email.
Yes.
And drop it off. You know, how many times you go to a restaurant and they have a big fishbowl, win lunch for 4 every month.
Absolutely.
Now you've got your in-person. Now, there's a bit of a convergence between in-person or purchase and online.
Yes.
So a lot of contests now, you're buying product and they have a PIN code. So you're always looking for the ones with something on the top. And I have 3 different ones here. So Coke got their iCoke. Now, you collect pins, but they haven't had any contests lately, but I keep collecting them just in case. So when they have the next one, I can go.
So are you collecting the cap? Is that what you're saying? You don't write the pin?
There's a code inside the cap.
On the underside, yes?
Yeah, I'll just...
It's I won't say the name, but it's like the roll up to win.
Yeah.
Roll up to win.
Yeah, so I don't know if they can catch that, if any, but there's a little tiny code, and now that I'm older, I need bifocals, and I have to. I have
here,
to do
Carolyn,
this.
I'll read it. For heaven's sakes!
I'm doing this to read the codes.
It's there.
But,
trust us. There is something.
Yeah,
there.
there is something there. Now, the price of postage, you don't. There's a rule that says you have to have a no purchase way to win. So you can mail away for a code, but by the time you spend the time, do the stamp, you know, and you got to watch where you buy. You can buy these at the dollar store for $1, or the supermarket they're $2, or the convenience store I think they're $1.50. So just watch your pricing. For the amount you'd spend to get a free one, you get a code and all the product.
Yes.
So, and then of course I tend to pin code hunt sometimes on recycle day. If I see a bin with a lot of pop in it, I'll go and I'll just unscrew a few caps.
Okay, yes. So, but here's the, right on the outside, you know that there's going to be something on there.
There's going to be none, and
outside.
also you'll see, right on the label, it says win an Xbox an hour. They're doing it 12 hours a day.
Here we go.
I know.
Who wants an Xbox?
I'm going home to try this one. I haven't entered this one yet.
Fair enough.
And then there's chocolate. Chocolate's got, you're just looking, I can spot the word win at 100 paces.
Yeah.
When I was married,
so win
I'd be
on
walking
there.
along and my head might snap, and you know, it wasn't because I saw some handsome guy whiz by. I saw the word win somewhere, and I'm like, where is my opportunity? What did I just miss?
It is there, yeah.
So
Gagne.
Gagne, yeah. And the codes are usually inside. And again, you can get these inexpensively at 69 cents.
She whispers
I know,
that.
I like it.
Yes.
So this, I didn't turn it on. I left it off. It's on silent for the show.
Yes.
But your smartphone is a great place to win because you can text message from here because there's some text messaging contests you can enter. But how much time do you waste in line or in a waiting room or something where you're, you know, wasting time? Or if, you know, you commute to work on a bus, if you're sitting on the GO train or the bus or something, you have a lot of time. You can
Aren't we
go
sitting
through,
reading this book?
Well, you only need to read it once because then you know it all.
Fair enough.
Right? Sorry,
Oh,
I couldn't
nice.
resist.
Very nice.
I couldn't resist.
Very nice.
So then you can sit there and go through your Facebook feed or your Twitter feed and enter contests on the go.
Oh, so what would I be? Do I have to input some kind of a PIN number? Or what will it be?
Depends on what it is. Sometimes you're sharing something. Sometimes you're liking something.
Yes.
Sometimes you'll click a link, and depending on the smartphone you have, this is a smartphone. It's brand new. No, I didn't win it. I can go right to the entry form and type in my information.
Yes.
And submit my entry that way. So there's different ways that I can enter on this phone.
Okay.
Also Instagram, I had mentioned it earlier, is getting very popular. So you're snapping a picture and submitting it via Instagram or sharing an Instagram photo.
Seeing lots of that.
Lots of that. So, and there's Pinterest contests too. A little harder to do on your phone, but this is the beauty of going to conventions is you learn from each other.
Yes.
We had a woman, she owns a website in the States called Sweeps You. Sadly, it's not, they don't have any Canadian sweeps on it. But it's a fantastic site. And she said one of the tips that she does is whenever she's cooking big family meals or holiday meals where she's doing some of her best baking and cooking, every time she's finished something or has a presentation, she takes pictures of it. So when the next baking or cooking contest comes up or she needs a photo for an Instagram contest, she already has them all on her phone.
Really?
I thought that's brilliant. See, that's the beauty of connecting with other people again.
Yes.
Because I have ideas and you have ideas and Susie has ideas and Bob has ideas, and if we all share now, we've all increased our odds of winning. I'm a very big believer in all boats rise with the tide.
Yes.
So just because I'm sharing my secrets, people think you're going to lose, and I'm saying no. The more successful companies feel their promotions are, the more they're going to hold.
Excellent.
Companies in Canada last year spent over $300 million running promotions, and it's only getting bigger. There's not less to win, there's more to win.
Yes.
So how can my sharing diminish my wins? I have people that sometimes afraid, they say, oh, if they know that I'm a sweeper, I'm going to get disqualified. I said, that's crazy. I interviewed in this book many of the presidents of some of the top promotional firms in Canada. They all know who I am, and I still win. If anybody's going to be disqualified, it would be me.
Well, I'm wondering, Carolyn, is there a limit? Because there will be people out there and they're saying, you know what, every 3 months, they say you can only win every 3 months, and so they either have to change their name or not enter.
No, that's cheating.
Oh, oops, I didn't mean to bring that up.
No, it's a very good point.
Yes.
Again, follow the rules. In a lot of the radio stations, you can only win once every 30 days. So only enter once every 30 days. Or when you win, I keep a spreadsheet, because I don't want to disqualify myself. I keep a spreadsheet of when I win things and when the prizes arrive. Because the odd time I've had to contact a sponsor and say, it's been 12 weeks, is the prize coming? And then they'll say, oh, we've had some problems with the supplier or something, it'll come soon.
Yes.
Okay, so I can kind of just keep track of it.
Yes.
And then, but I also know when my 30 days is up with the radio station. Oh, I won on this day last month. Okay, so this day I can start calling back in to try and win.
Yes.
Not that I might win right away. Sometimes takes a little bit. But
it's being organized.
It's being organized.
Yes, okay.
And that's how I know how much I win every year. It started with a New Year's back in 2004, and I thought, well, how much did I really win in 2005? And I started doing it. And it's really good, too, because the months that I don't feel lucky, I look back and go, oh, I actually did pretty good. I won 7 things. I didn't remember
And I'm also thinking in terms of just what are the costs involved to do this, because whether you have to, and I'm thinking tangible costs, like whether it was a stamp or whatever it may be. I know maybe your time, you can't actually measure.
Well, a little bit. So, you have to have good internet access. If you really want to do the smartphone thing, you have to have a decent phone, a decent plan. The rates actually, thankfully, seem to be coming down. So that's better. But I don't know anybody that doesn't have those things anyway at this point. Like everyone that I know seems to have a laptop and internet access at home and a smartphone.
Yes. But you're here to say, if you don't, there are other ways that you can be entering.
Yeah, you can win. Again, the problem with these ones is you get a code, but then you take the code online and you enter the code.
Ah, okay.
So it's what they call in marketing convergence. And so it's layering.
Yes.
Layering them. And then I haven't looked yet, but I don't know if I enter this on on Pepsi, whatever the website is, or do I go to Facebook and enter? A lot of them are on Facebook now.
Yes. And why do you think that is?
Because of the social media viraling component.
Okay.
Because they a lot of times will give you extra entries for sharing with all your friends.
Ah.
And of course, we take advantage of that.
Yeah. What is one of your favorite things? Because I don't know if there's a best thing that you have won.
So I get that question a lot.
Yes.
So the most valuable prize we have ever won in terms of dollars was a trip to the 2010 Olympics. It was for 4. So that was the most expensive prize.
Wow.
I think the coolest prize was in 2005. We won a trip to London for the weekend. To go to Hogwarts. We went to the set.
Are you serious?
Yeah, this is while they were still filming. So we were the first people outside cast and crew. It was a contest run in 30 countries around the world. There was people from all over the world. It was just amazing. We had a big feast in the hall, the Great Hall, where they actually filmed the movie.
Oh, Carolyn, that's fabulous.
So that was cool. Yeah, because you can't buy that. You can't. There's no
priceless.
Money. It's price. Well, no, I have a priceless one.
Oh.
I got to meet Sting.
Get out of town.
I have a picture with his arm around me, and he smells really good.
How did you get to meet Sting?
You know what's interesting is that we didn't know we were going to meet him. We won tickets to go see him at an interview, something like this.
Tickets. I heard that. Yes.
We won tickets to go watch him at an interview down at the Bravo Theater downtown. And so there was about 100 people, so I guess 50 winners and their guests.
Yes.
But instead of just going in and sitting for the interview, he personally greeted everybody that was there. And in groups of 10, we took photos. And luckily enough, I was in the spot where I was at the front of the line. So for the next group shot, I got to stand beside him. And that was amazing because that wasn't initially part of the prize. That's something he just does personally.
Yes.
As his gratitude for his fans and people that
listen. What a
listen.
class act. That is fabulous.
He was, I thought it was the classiest thing I've ever seen. And he greeted and he said, thank you very much for listening to my music and buying my albums. And he was actually, I believe, genuinely grateful.
Yes.
And I thought, no wonder he's so successful.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah. He gets to do what he loves, but he couldn't do it if we didn't go and attend the concerts and buy the music.
It's interesting because he said music is in him and he would play to the cat if that was the only person that would listen because he has to get it out. And it's kind of funny because I almost feel the same way about this hobby. I feel it's my purpose to teach other people how to have more fun in life, and I can't think of anything more fun than winning.
And I want to go back to the whole idea around passion again, in that it's something you are truly passionate about this, or Sting is passionate about his music. And you can only be successful if you really are doing something that you love. You put your heart and soul into this.
It is. It's great to have it as a hobby, and it's great to have it as business, because there's nothing I love more when somebody says to me, oh my gosh, I came to your workshop, I learned so much, and I just won something big.
Yes.
I'm so glad I came. Thank you for teaching me.
Yes.
And I love that because they're so excited.
Yep.
And it changed their lives.
Yeah.
And that's fun.
And I think that's a great point, and that this does spill out over into it's not just about the contest or the sweepstakes or winning that prize. It really is in the bigger picture in your life. Let's take a station break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about the other side of contests. Carol is going to share some of those secrets. Stay with us. Lots more to come. Welcome back to Know It All. We're talking with the contest queen herself, Carolyn Willman, and it's all about getting lucky. Okay, Carolyn, there's another side to the contest, and I don't know whether that's the dark side of these contests. Is that what that means?
No.
Okay.
What it means is that you have viewers that are not only potentially entrants, but they might have a small business or they might work in a marketing department, and their company runs contests and promotions. So there's things that a marketer or a company needs to be aware of before they run a sweepstakes.
Oh, so you come into this, I'm sure, in order to train them to.
Well,
teach.
I help. Yeah. So if it's a small business, sometimes I actually run the promotions for them.
Yes.
And with bigger companies, one of my specialties is helping viral market the sweepstakes out into the world.
Yes.
And getting the word out about this promotion and getting eyeballs. So social media, that's where the social media comes in. I specialize in digital, online, and social media marketing for promotion.
Yes.
So I do that. So it depends on what the company does. And, you know, for example, if they want it open to Quebec, there's a whole new, world out there. There's something called the Régie d'Alcourt de Concord that you have to do a filing with, and all kinds of paperwork.
There's rules, there's regulations,
there's laws.
Okay.
So the number one tip that I have for people entering is always read the rules. Similar tip for marketers is always lock down your rules. So what most people don't realize is the rules are actually a legal and binding contract between the sponsor and the entrant that, if when written properly, should hold up in a court of law. So if they don't lock down those rules properly, they can find themselves in potential legal hot water.
Yes.
So make sure the rules are locked down tight. And that's one of the nice things, if it's a very small company and they have limited budgets, there's a lot of companies out there that now you can hire for a small fee to run, say, a Facebook contest, and part of what they offer is already vetted rules. They call it vetting.
Yes.
So the rules are already there, and you just put in your pricing and the dates and the eligibility, whether it's open to just Ontario, Canada.
Yes, it's almost a template. It's
a template, and you can just fill it in and know that you're, as a small business, you're protected.
You're protected. What a great point. I'm thinking in terms of, okay, I'm entering a contest, and a lot of times we think, oh, there's all this fine print, and you kind of start reading it, and then you just scan through it all. But you're here to say, read the rules, because you can get disqualified, and then you can't even.
Well, I've been doing it so long now, I still skim. Now, I will tell you a story how skimming can get you in trouble, but I'm always looking for eligibility. So who's it open to? Just Durham, Ontario, Canada.
Yes.
If it's open just to the U.S., I can't enter. So I just skim. First I look for who's it open to.
Yes.
Then I look for entry dates. When does it end? Because usually if it's online by now, it's already started, so I don't have to worry about when it's starting. I'm looking for when does it end? Do I still have time to get an entry in? How many times I can enter? That's my next one. Is it single entry, daily entry?
And will that be there somewhere for you?
Yeah, it has to be in the rules somewhere. If it's not, I usually go as a contest queen and post a message on their Facebook page. Did you know that your rules are inaccurate? Please hire me. I can help you with that.
Okay, fair enough though. Yes.
So I'm always looking for those things. And then depending on what it is, if you notice that there's, submit a photo or something, I scroll down and see, is it judged? Do I need to, use a certain type of thing? Is it a prop? Is it with a certain product? Does, this logo have to appear in whatever picture I'm taking? Because that might be part of it.
Okay.
You have to read sometimes a little more depending on what the promotion is. So that's one way to do it. And so, yeah, rules really have to be locked down tight. So both the entrant and the sponsor have to lock down the rules.
Yes.
And social media marketing is one of the best ways for smaller businesses to run sweepstakes and get people liking them, or you have to decide on the purpose before you pick how you're going to do it. So if you say, well, I want more Facebook likes, then you're going to hold a Facebook contest.
Yes.
If you want more Twitter followers, then hold a Twitter contest. And then promote it across your other outlets. Say on Facebook, hey, did you know we're having a contest over there on Twitter?
Yes. Okay, fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yes.
And point to them. Or if you want more people to sign up for your newsletter, then you could have one on your company blog. Depends on what your purpose is, depends on how you would execute it. But you have to come up with the purpose first and then decide how you want to execute it.
Yes. Okay, that's a great point then. Okay, so it's the purpose. How do I execute this? Does the actual prize come into play? Like some are better than others in order to get people to engage in this?
You know what's really interesting? I've had that question. I've seen some really amazing prizes get very little entries, and I've seen some really stupid prizes and get a ton of entries. So I normally, as a consultant, you go, okay, well, a better prize is going to garner you more entries. It's logical.
Okay.
Sometimes it doesn't always work, and I don't know why. But the rule of thumb is something that most people want, electronics, and then it also can tie in. I mean, if you're a local theater company and you're giving away tickets to a local production, that makes sense.
Yes.
If you're giving away, tires, why? It doesn't tie in to
And I think
what
you
you're
make
doing.
what a great point in terms of, say, theater. I immediately perked up my ears and, oh, okay, yes, because that's of interest to me. Whereas the tires, don't really need any, so maybe I'm not going to chase that. I'm wondering about cash, though. At the end of the day, is cash the king in that most people want to win cash?
It's interesting because we're in Canada, the rules to running promotions in Canada are different than the U.S.
Significantly so.
Yes. In the U.S., they have to pay income tax on all their winnings. So cash is really king in the States because if you win $10,000, you might have to give $3,000 to the IRS.
Yes.
Whereas in Canada, if you win $10,000, you get to keep all $10,000.
Yes.
Yes. Therefore, more companies, we have less cash prizes, and the cash prizes tend to be smaller. So I see a lot in the U.S., and our population's smaller.
Yes.
So I see a lot of them in the States, $5,000, $10,000, $25,000, $100,000, like crazy amounts of cash. And we have more, $500, $1,000, $5,000, maybe $10,000. You don't see the larger numbers, and they're further and fewer between.
Yes.
So cash is always king, but I find it a little bit harder to win cash up here.
Okay.
So I tend to see, it seems to be the most popular prize I see are trips.
And who doesn't want to win a trip?
Now, I do warn people, it's not a free trip, it's a cheap trip.
Ooh, okay, can you clarify
because
that?
The odd time you may have to pay the airport departure taxes. Again, read the rules.
Read the rules. Good point, yes.
And then, okay, so you win a hotel and airfare and maybe tickets to go see some show, like, hey, go to London, England and see the opening of, what's the new the new Hunger Games one, the next one, Catch the Fire.
I don't know.
I know, my daughter has all the books.
Yikes, I don't know. Hunger Games 2?
Catching
Somebody
Fire.
else has Catching
So
Thank you.
So you can win a tickets to the premiere in London, but you only get a hotel and airfare and the premiere ticket. So now you're in London, you're going to want to eat and probably shop and maybe see theater.
And sightsee.
Take a cruise down the Thames, go on the Eye. I mean, those are all monies. Now, what's nice, though, if you already have a holiday budget, and you win a trip, so now that budget is going to go that much further because with the smaller budget, you couldn't have afforded London on $1,000, but now you can afford London on $1,000 because it's only supplemental, not the entire trip.
Okay. Okay, sounds fabulous. Okay, you know what I'd like to do then, because I don't want us to suddenly run out of time here, but if we can recap, there are people out there right now, they say, you know what, I want to start doing this. So can you maybe tell us their top 3 tips in terms of beginning this endeavor, and then how do you do it?
Well, normally I tell people to go to my website, but in this case, I'm going to tell them to find me on Facebook and Twitter, and I've been posting tips and tricks there on where they can find sweepstakes and contests, legitimate sweepstakes and contests open to Canadians. And I post those frequently, and you're looking for websites there. Always read the rules.
Yes.
Always
that
read
is
the
just,
rules.
I mean, I'm hearing that one loud and clear.
And you have to think you're lucky and feel you're lucky before you're a winner. You have to feel the winning energy.
Yes.
I really believe half the hobby's in your head. If you go in with the attitude, oh, I don't even know why I'm filling this out, I'm not going to win.
Or Carolyn, the number of people who say, I never win anything.
Well, what are you entering?
Why are you entering? Maybe it'll be different, and really it is about attitude. And that goes back to in terms of life, right? And how we approach it. And you know what? Somebody has to win. Hey, I think that might have been a book. But right, it is. You know what? You aren't going to win if you don't enter. Yeah, you can't win if you don't enter, and so put your name in the hat. I don't win every contest I enter. Okay. I win less than 1%, but I win 5 to 15 prizes every month. Yes. So. Okay, so it's a positive winning attitude. Yes. Reading the rules and entering a lot. And to that point, should somebody say, okay, I need to do this daily, I need to do this 3 times a day, is there some sort of a, I say try and set a little time aside. A lot of us have laptops, a lot of us have our favorite evening TV shows. There's no reason you can't sit there with your laptop, your evening hot drink, I like tea, and watching your favorite TV show and just typing away. And doing, so that's one way of doing it, or I mean, you were showing us, the various pops and the chocolates and those sorts of things. And
I'm busy, so a lot of times on my smartphone, that's where I get my dailies in because I don't have time otherwise.
Okay. Okay, so enter a lot, and should you be expecting something within, I've been doing this for 3 months, or I've been doing this 3 weeks, or because people's frustration might start to come forward.
I expect to win every day. I don't win every day, but I expect to win every day.
Yes, okay.
The mails come, I'm like, what is up with that? Why are there no release orders in my mail today?
How do you then work with, the frustration of, jeepers, I haven't won anything, and there will be some newbies out there, and they'll say that. Well, I'm not doing that anymore.
It's interesting. I think I've been doing it for so long, I'm past that. Okay. I don't seem to get frustrated anymore. Like when I was really busy over the summer, I went on tour in the U.S. and I spent most of my day driving. It was days I didn't enter, days and days I didn't enter.
Yes.
I didn't worry about it.
There may be somebody saying, well, you know what, because she's won tons of stuff, so she doesn't need to get upset about it. But somebody's brand spanking new.
Yeah, just keep going, because you know what's going to happen? You're going to stop entering, and then, just like I did with Helene's affirmation, 3 weeks later or a month later, you're going to win something big.
Yes.
And then you're going to say, why did I stop? Because you're not filling that funnel.
Perfect.
It's like the sales funnel, right? The more you put on top, and some of them trickle.
I'm loving it. Okay.
So
we have come to the end of this episode.
So quick.
I know, it's way too quick. I know, and I know you're thinking, well, isn't there some kind of a contest that I can enter at the end of this? No, but if you would like more information about Carolyn Willman, about all that we've talked about today, and not to forget, there is actually this Sunday, October 27th.
At 1 o'clock at Starbucks, but you have to email me to know the location in Whitby.
And the information will all be up on our website at rogerstv.com/knowitall. I'm Barbara Clifford, and I thank you for joining me, and please join me next time as we continue this never-ending quest to know it all. I want to win something.